Okay, MB Moose Lover here with another video of Stretchy, my backyard groundhog. Is living under my storage shed, and I think possibly may have some babies. I'm assuming it is a female, but I could be wrong. But there was a day here just recently where she didn't come out and eat for a whole day, and I don't know if it was into the next morning. It was quite a stretch that she didn't come out to eat, and so I figured she was maybe giving birth. I don't know, but anyway. And also when I was kind of making the holes that she goes in under my building a little bigger for her to fit through, she was gathering up leaves and hauling them in there for a nest. So I mean, it could have been for herself, but I figured maybe it was for she'd been in there all winter, so then she was making a nest for young ones. That's what I figured. But anyway, like I said, just feeding her here, and along with all the other critters. I got a backyard grouse and squirrels and birds and deer and everything, so I figured I might as well feed her a little bit. She was right there, and get some videos. There's been groundhogs under our building for years, and they feed on the lawn here. I've got videos of them eating stuff that I leave a spot that I don't mow, so they have a spot there with all kinds of clover and dandelions, really good stuff they like. So, but anyway, I was feeding her cabbage and apples, I guess, and then so I run out of cabbage, and we weren't planning on going to town for a bit, so wife went to the local store and didn't have much for vegetables, but got her a head of lettuce and some celery. Well, she don't like the celery. I found that she don't care for that too much. Lettuce, she likes it all right. I think she still likes cabbage better. But anyway, and I still had some apples there, but she's eating the lettuce here. But I gonna get her a little box plastic tote made up here for her to put this little platform with the bowls on it, so she can have a place to eat and get out of the rain, because it's kind of hard for her to eat down in the little hole there where she is when she comes out. Her little entrance isn't very big, so if it's raining out, she's gonna get soaked. So and I mean, she'll eat on the lawn here after I'm just giving her a little bit here until there's not much growing at all on the lawn, not much green stuff coming, hardly any grass, and just a few little tiny plants, little wild strawberries, tiny leaves. And so just kind of giving her some stuff here so I can get a few videos. And she got a big pile that time. I sped some of this up here because it was repetitive and made the video really long. It's still long, but I didn't want to cut it all. It's kind of cute, some of the stuff she does, but anyway, she's looking really pudgy though this morning. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to get her some other stuff here. Wife went over again last night because I was out of lettuce, and got her some carrots and another head of lettuce, but I don't know. I put the carrots out this morning, but I had to put them inside of her little entrance there because it was going to rain, and I don't know. She came out, and I mean, she came to the entrance because all I do is I scratch on the side of the building, and she'll come out. Sometimes it takes her a bit, but I'll scratch a couple of times, and then she'll come right out, and she knows that's kind of her dinner bell. So anyway, and I've got another video I think I did of her here besides this one. There's so many videos I can't keep them straight, but there's one, I don't know if it was this one or not, the one where she's sunning herself. She's sunning herself outside. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to try to get her some different stuff here. Get her some spinach and some green stuff, maybe some Swiss chard, and there's a lot of different things, instead of the harder vegetables, just get her some leafy stuff, and I guess that's the video that I have. I was thinking there was another video I have coming up after this one, and it's I went around the edge of the house, around the edge of the house, around the edge of the basement, and picked some little tiny leaves off of little plants. I don't know what they were, little wild strawberries. It was just barely coming through. There's hardly any green. There's hardly any grass. So, but I got her a little bit of grass that I could get, and just different things, and kind of, got a big handful and put it in the bowl. So that's the next video where she's actually eating some wild stuff, and she just went nuts for that. She just hoovered it, and then after I got done, she was eating what I had fed her. I had the camera set up outside the tripod, and I'm standing right behind it, just a few feet from her, and she's eating all the veggies that I pick for her, and then she goes right on by me and goes right over to the edge of the house and starts eating them herself right beside the house. So it was like, it was cute. It was like, yeah, I want more of that stuff you picked there. So yeah, and she'll be right up to her neck in it here pretty when we get into summer, because like I said, there's the spot that I don't mow on my back lawn. I leave the whole lawn for quite a while anyway. I don't usually keep it, mow it all the time. I leave it for a bit, and when it gets real high, then I'll mow it. But I'll leave that one section, and it's just about a 50-foot square section, and it comes up in everything you can imagine. And the turkeys eat the clover and everything there when they come around. They haven't been around too much last year in the summer. They were around here this winter when I was feeding the birds, but yeah, so anyway, it's just fun. I'm retired here, so it's just fun. I got 2 cats, but it's just fun to play around. Now she's gonna stretch. Here we go. Big stretch. Another one. Big stretch. That's why she's called Stretchy. Yeah, so cute. And I got a cat that does that. Moonlight, my cat, she stretches like that all the time. She gets these great big stretches, and bends her back right around to you, and then and does the rear end thing too. Like she'll kind of stretch her front paws way out, and then she'll go down, and then she puts her hind feet right out flat, and it's like just like this groundhog does. Yeah, they're both Stretchies. And then she got laying right here. It was so cute because she was just laying here in the sun. It was actually pretty warm that morning, and she's just laying there in the sun. It's just cute. She's just, that feels so good. Imagine it's pretty cold in that den underneath that building, and she wintered there all winter. And I don't know, she's got 4. There was 2 entrances that weren't awful tight for her to get underneath. And I dug them out and made them a little better for her to get. And then she went and made 2 on the sides. I think she just wanted a back door, because a lot of times she wouldn't hear me coming. I think I was, spooking her, so she's getting more used to me all the time. But there she's gonna stretch again, big stretches. Yeah, stretch. Yeah, and she never drank any water. I've kept water here in bowls and in this little tray, cat litter box here, and I've never seen her drink water out of it. I don't know. You would think that there's no puddles around much. So there's puddles, she can go around the driveway and find a puddle if it's raining, but yeah, now she's laying in the sun again. But yeah, it's just funny about that. But yeah, anyway, I've got another video coming up here of another grouse video too. My grouse has been coming pretty much every night. I was quite surprised with that. I didn't, after feeding them all winter, I just figured that'd be it. Once the spring came, they would just go find their own thing. And she's gone all day. I don't see her all day, this grouse, but then just before dark she'll come in. And the last 3 or 4 nights, week, it's been like clockwork. She's just she'll just show up, and And I've got 2 videos I just put on there where she was, challenged by a red squirrel and a gray squirrel both, where she had to, they were trying to get the food at the same time she was, and have a hard time keeping them out of the bowl. I'm rigging up squirrel feeders to try and keep them away. And I was feeding them on this platform, the squirrels, and then I had this great big horde of birds that just showed up, all the ones that were coming in the winter, all these, grosbeaks. Yeah, these grosbeaks were coming, the yellow-winged ones, and I mean, I had like close to 100 that were coming, and then, so I basically didn't want to feed them in the summer, because I would end up with 1,000 birds probably. So I had to, I just had to, just taper off, and so I took my bird feeders down. I just got a couple of suets, and then I started putting seeds on this platform in just bowls, and the squirrels were coming to it. And the other thing is, I was trying to keep the squirrels away from my groundhog here, because they were coming over and eating the food out of its dish, the vegetables that I put in there, and when they didn't have any feed. So now she's laying in the sun right there again. She's just laid right out. And anyway, so I basically rigged up a couple yesterday. I rigged up a couple of tubs, drawers from the plastic drawers that are drawer units that I was just turned upside down for a roof over the bowls, and cut a hole in the side for a squirrel to get in. And then I'm making some other ones out of some cat litter jugs, and it's working out pretty good. I had 3 that I did yesterday there, and the squirrels are getting in them, so the birds can't get in there when the squirrels are there, so it kind of cuts down on the number of birds that were coming. And they were just everywhere the last 2 or 3 days, and coming from all over the neighborhood. And I still had a whole bunch of juncos here this morning that showed up, and they're going at my suets and pretty well decimating them. Woodpeckers come in there, but they won't get anything because the juncos are eating it all. But anyway, gradually if the squirrels defend these places where I've got the seed, then birds can't get to them. They also can't get wet. The seed was getting wet before when I had it in these bowls. I didn't have them covered. So anyway, I don't want to just buy regular bird feeders, because then, like I said, they're out in the open and birds can get to them. I want it so the squirrels will kind of keep the birds away. That's the whole plan. So I'm filming this from inside the house, and out through my back door, which is got little window panes in it, and that's why I'm trying to stay between the edges of the pane. That's why it kind of blurs the edges sometimes, and that's why I'm shaking all over the place. So that's why it's that way. Yeah, she was still laying in the sun. She was like, I imagine she don't want to go back into that little den. Like I said, I don't know how deep it is. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know how. I mean, there's very little room under that building. There's 2 by 4 rafters, or floor joists were just 2 by 4s, and only like a foot between them, and the ground is right there. So I mean, there's probably no more than like 8 inches of between the ground and the 2 by 4s. So she's got to duck under them when she's going across all of them. And then if she's got her den down, I don't know how deep she would have it down. So I imagine you get down, fairways, and it wouldn't be as cold, but I imagine it's still, not that warm, but if it's just a small little spot. And she was hauling these leaves in, last week there. Here's another stretch. For a nest, so I figured she probably did have the young ones. And anyway, so I got another video coming up here, like I said, where I had picked some veggies for her, so that one will be coming up next. I'll probably put some narrative on that too. So we're coming to the end here, so later, and be much lover.